Mauricio Mosan Brown, July 19, 2006. On the night of August 14, 1996, Kenneth Foster, Mauricio Brown, Dwayne Dillard, and Julius Steen went on a robbery spree throughout San Antonio, Texas. Brown kicked it off by telling the group he had a gun and asking if they wanted to go out robbing. "I have the strap, do you all want to jack?" The next day, they tailed the car back to Patrick LaHood's house, intending to rob it. Brown got out and confronted LaHood, who was outside near his vehicle. A woman who was with LaHood said Brown demanded his wallet, cash, and keys, and held a gun in his face for about 2 minutes before pulling the trigger. She later gave a description of the suspects to police, and all 4 were arrested not long after. Foster, Dillard, and Steen gave statements identifying Brown as the shooter. Brown also admitted to firing the shot, both during police questioning and in court. At the trial, he claimed he had only approached LaHood to get Mary's phone number and drew his gun when he thought LaHood was armed. Both Brown and Foster were tried together for capital murder during a robbery and sentenced to death. Brown was known to be a member of the Crips Street Gang. His last meal was enchiladas heavy with cheese and onions, fried chicken, and a boneless T-bone steak with steak sauce. His last words were, "To the victim's family, I am sorry you lost a brother, loved one, and friend. I apologize that you lost a loved one this way. To my family, I love you all. Keep your heads up and know I will be in a better place. God bless you all. OK, Warden." Robert James Anderson, July 20, 2006. One afternoon, 5-year-old Audra Reeves went out to play. As she was heading back home and passed by Anderson's residence, he grabbed her and brought her inside. There, he tried to assault her, then proceeded to choke, stab, hit, and drown her. Afterwards, he placed her body in a large foam cooler, loaded it into a shopping cart, and wheeled it down the street before disposing of it in a dumpster, where it was later found. When authorities took Anderson into custody, he gave a full confession. His last meal was lasagna, mashed potatoes with gravy, beets, green beans, fried okra, 2 pints of mint chocolate chip ice cream, a fruit pie, tea, and lemonade. His last words were, "I am sorry for the pain I have caused you. I have regretted this for a long time. I am sorry." Anderson also apologized to his own family. William Wyatt Jr., August 3, 2006. Wyatt was living with his girlfriend, Renee Porter, and her 3-year-old son, Damien. He regularly looked after Damien after dropping Porter off at work. At around 6:07 p.m., Wyatt called 911 requesting emergency help for what he claimed was an accidental drowning. When responders arrived, Damien showed no signs of life. He wasn't breathing and had no pulse. He was rushed to a local hospital and was pronounced dead at 7:24 p.m. A medical examination later revealed that Damien had died from suffocation. In a statement given to law enforcement, Wyatt admitted to abusing the child, stating that he became angry after thinking Damien had tampered with an electrical socket. He struck the boy with a belt, and when Damien started to cry out, Wyatt covered his face with a plastic bag until he became quiet. Wyatt declined the final meal. His last words were, "I went home to be with my father, and I went home as a trooper." Then he addressed his victim's father and grandmother, who watched through a window a few feet from him. "I did not murder your son. I did not do it. I just want you to know that I did not murder Damien, and I would ask for all of your forgiveness, and I will see all of you soon." Richard Hinosa, August 17, 2006. Hinosa gained entry into the home of his neighbor, Terry Wright, by cutting her phone lines before breaking in. Once inside, he encountered Wright and a physical confrontation followed. He eventually forced her into her car and drove her to a remote area, often used as an illegal dumping site. There, he essayed her and inflicted 11 stab wounds to her back and chest, resulting in her death. He left her naked body in a field, attempting to conceal it under grass. Investigators later tied him to the crime scene through fingerprinting and DNA evidence. Years earlier, in 1986, Hinosa had been convicted of manslaughter and served 2 years before being released. His final meal was chef salad with ranch dressing, 12 pieces of fried chicken, 5 jalapeno nachos with chili cheese, 4 fried eggs over easy, French fries, onion rings, 6 Cokes, 6 Big Reds, and ketchup. His last words were, I know you may hate me for whatever reason. The Lord says, hate no one. I hope you find peace in your heart. I know my words cannot help you. I truly mean what I say. He then looked at his family and apologized for not being the man they wanted him to be. I love you very much. Diane, Virginia, Toby, and Irene, I love all of you. I'm going to be free. I'm going to heaven. Please be strong, and I love you all. He ended his brief final statement with instructions to Warden Charles O'Reilly standing next to him. Kick the tires, light the fire, Warden. I am going home to see my son and my mom. Justin Chaz Fuller, August 24, 2006. Fuller and 3 companions targeted college student Donald Whittington's apartment for a robbery. They used tear gas to incapacitate Whittington, then tied him up and covered his eyes before rifling through his valuables. While one accomplice gathered items from the apartment, Fuller and 2 others forced Whittington into his car and drove to an ATM where Fuller withdrew money from Whittington's account. The cash, $80 each, was split among the 3 captors. Afterwards, they took Whittington to Sandy Beach Park, forced him to kneel, and Fuller shot him 3 times with a .22 handgun as he prayed. The following day, Fuller brought 2 school friends to see the body and confessed the robbery and murder to them. Smith County deputies discovered Whittington's body 4 days later. After his arrest, Fuller provided a videotaped confession with details of the crime but denied firing the shots. His accomplices, Sam Armander Weidman and Elaine Hayes, received life sentences, while Brent Bates Chandler took a 25-year sentence and testified against Fuller. Fuller declined the last meal. His last words were, "I would like to tell my family thank you for your support and my friends. Let everyone know that you must stay strong for each other. Take care of yourselves." He then told the warden standing next to him, "That's it." As the lethal drugs began to take effect, he looked at his parents watching through a window a few feet away and said, "I love you." He did not acknowledge the victim's family. Derek Wayne Frasier, August 31st, 2006. Frasier and his accomplice Jermaine Herron approached the Nutt family's mobile home pretending to have car trouble and asking to use the phone. Betsy Nutt, 41, let them in, offered them iced tea, and even offered to drive them 10 miles into town. When Betsy went outside to start her truck, Frasier followed her, then shot her in the face with a 9mm handgun. He shot her again in the back of the head. Herron shot 15-year-old Cody Nutt once in the head and multiple times in the chest and abdomen with the same type of gun. Afterwards, Frasier and Herron took Betsy's truck and fled. Jerry Nutt found his wife and son's bodies when he returned from work. Before the murders, Frasier and Herron had visited a nearby home asking about work, where they noticed guns and decided to steal them. They returned the next day when the house was empty, broke in, and drank there until Betsy arrived. They then approached her with the car trouble story before attacking. The stolen truck was later found outside Frasier's apartment, and stolen items, including clothing Frasier wore at his arrest in Victoria, were recovered from his girlfriend. Frasier's fingerprints were found inside the truck. Both men confessed separately after being arrested. Frasier had a previous aggravated assault conviction for shooting a man and a juvenile robbery conviction, and he had pending assault charges at the time of the Nutt murders. Jermaine Herron was executed by Texas in May 2006 for these crimes. Frasier declined the final meal. His last words were, "I am innocent. An innocent man is being put to death. I've professed my innocence for 9 years, and I will continue to profess my innocence for another 9 years. Frasier repeatedly told the woman he married by proxy that he loved her. "Tell my people we must continue on. Do not give up the fight. Do not give up hope. We can make it happen." After again expressing love to the woman, who was sobbing as she watched through a window a few feet away, he told her, "Stay strong, baby. I love you forever." He was urging her to smile as the lethal drugs began taking effect. Farley Charles Matchet, September 12, 2006. Matchet, struggling with a severe crack addiction, went on a violent spree over 3 days. In Huntsville, he killed 74-year-old Melanie Josie with a meat hammer after she refused to give him money. The day before, he had seriously beaten 91-year-old Ola Mae Williams for the same reason. On the final day, Matchet went door to door in a northeast Houston neighborhood before arriving at Uri Zanderson's home, where he asked for money. Anderson, a relative by marriage, confronted him about his drug use but was then attacked by Matchet while home alone. Anderson's body was discovered 2 days later. He had been stabbed twice in the back and suffered severe head injuries from a hammer. Matchet was caught when he attempted to cash one of Anderson's personal checks. He confessed to the 3-day crime spree and pleaded guilty to Anderson's murder. Matchet later accepted plea deals for the Huntsville murders, receiving a life sentence for Josie's death and 99 years for the attack on Williams. His last meal was 4 olives and a bottle of wild berry-flavored water. He began his final statement by telling his family, "I love you all, stay strong, and know that I am in a better place." He then addressed members of victim Uriz Anderson's family who witnessed the execution. Matchet, who is related to the Anderson family by marriage, asked for their forgiveness. He said he hoped they found peace in their hearts through his death. He then said, "Into thy hands I commend my spirit." A moment later, he went on to thank his supporters, who included French actress Brigitte Bardot. "Don't let this be the end," he said. "Keep going." His voice trailed off as the lethal injection took effect. Gregory Lynn Summers, October 25, 2006. Summers was found guilty of paying another man $10,000 to murder his adoptive parents, Gene and Helen Summers. Billy Mack Summers, Gene's brother, who had an intellectual disability, was living with them when firefighters discovered the couple's bodies in their home. Both had suffered multiple stab wounds, and the house had been deliberately set on fire. Gregory stood to gain $24,000 in insurance payouts and was reportedly facing financial difficulties. Gene Summers had reportedly stopped supporting him financially. Authorities were alerted by Keenan Wilcox, who claimed Gregory Summers tried to hire him to kill his parents and uncle and to set the house on fire, offering payment from insurance money and cash inside the home. Another informant said his brother, Andrew Cantu, had been hired for $10,000 to carry out the murders but never got paid. Several family members and acquaintances described Gregory's troubled relationship with his father and recounted threats he made to kill him and burn down the house with him inside. Witnesses also described a history of violence, including abuse towards his first and second wives, including physical assaults and threats with a firearm, as well as violence against his children. Andrew Cantu was also convicted and sentenced to death and was executed in 1999. 2 other accomplices, Ramon Gonzalez and Paul Flores, accepted plea deals and testified against both Cantu and Summers. Summers' final meal was a salad, onion rings, chili dogs, and sweet iced tea. He declined to give a final statement. Donald O'Keefe Jackson, November 1, 2006. Jackson and his friend David Smith went to the Northeast Houston home where Mario Stubblefield and his father lived. After talking with both of them inside, Jackson asked Mario to step outside because he had something more to say. Once outside, Jackson pulled a gun given to him by Smith from his waistband and shot Mario in the head. A neighbor saw Stubblefield and the other man just moments before the shooting and later identified Jackson in a lineup. Smith became a suspect because Stubblefield was scheduled to testify against him in an upcoming aggravated assault case. Smith eventually admitted being with Jackson, but claimed he didn't know Jackson planned to shoot Stubblefield. After hearing this, Jackson confessed that Smith had paid him $200 to carry out the shooting. David Smith was later convicted of hiring Jackson to shoot Stubblefield and received a life sentence. Jackson's last meal was peach cobbler, barbecued ribs, French fries, onion rings, 2 double meat bacon burgers along with a root beer soda and a banana split ice cream. His last words were, "The calmness I was telling you about, I still have it. I love you all. I just want you to know that. I'm all right. Make sure Mama knows, all right? Jermaine, I love you too, man. You are Mario's uncle, correct? I just want you to know that I wronged your family. I received nothing. I was not paid. I took his life for the love of a friend." Willie Marcel Shannon, November 8, 2006. Shannon was found guilty and sentenced to death for the carjacking and murder of Benjamin Garza. Garza, a witness enrolled in the Federal Witness Protection Program, was visiting Houston with his wife and children when the crime occurred. He had just dropped his family off at a shoe store. An 11-year-old boy, who was the main eyewitness to the murder, testified that Benjamin was sitting alone in his car waiting for his family to return when Willie Shannon got into the passenger seat. The boy overheard Shannon tell Benjamin, "Get out of the car." After a struggle, 3 shots were fired, with one hitting Benjamin in the head. Shannon then kicked Benjamin's body out of the car, fired 2 more shots, and ran over Garza's hand while driving away in the victim's vehicle. Shannon fled but later abandoned the station wagon in a nearby county after crashing it. He was arrested 5 hours later at a truck stop. Just before killing Garza, Shannon also assaulted a motel maid in the area. He refused the final meal. His last words were, "I took a father. It wasn't my fault. It was an accident. God knows the truth." Shannon was smiling and humming as witnesses entered the death chamber. He told the Garza family that his smile was not from happiness. "If my life could bring your father back, then let it be. Don't take my smile for disrespect." Shannon said he was going to heaven. He said if he saw his victim, he would ask Garza for forgiveness. "I'll say when I see him, I'm sorry." He urged the relatives of his victim to go home, have fun, smile. "I am happy. Why should I lie now? I have no anger. I have no fear." Carlos Alberto Granados, January 10, 2007. Georgetown police responded to the apartment of Catherine Jimenez and found her and her 3-year-old son Anthony lying on the floor. Catherine had been stabbed about 30 times, while Anthony had been fatally stabbed with a long kitchen knife. Catherine survived and later testified that after an argument, her live-in boyfriend, Carlos Granados, repeatedly stabbed her. Granados then left the room and Catherine heard Anthony scream, "I don't want to die, don't kill me, I don't want to die." Anthony, stabbed in the chest, died shortly after. When Catherine's family grew concerned after losing contact with her, they alerted the police, who forced entry into the apartment. Once inside, officers saw Granados holding a large kitchen knife covered in blood. When ordered to drop the knife, Granados responded, "Shoot me, just shoot me." Eventually, he put down the knife and was taken into custody. His last meal was fried chicken, pizza, and a soft drink. His last words were, "Kathy, you know I never meant to hurt you. I gave you everything, and that's what made me so angry. But I never meant to hurt you. I'm sorry." Jonathan Bryant Moore, January 17, 2007. San Antonio police officer Fabian Dominguez was driving home from work when he noticed a burglary happening at a house. Still in his uniform, Dominguez pulled into the driveway, blocking a car with Jonathan Moore, Pete Dowdle, and Paul Cameron inside. These men were just finishing their second trip stealing from the home. With his gun drawn, Dominguez ordered all 3 to get out of the car repeatedly, but they refused. He grabbed the keys from the driver and then moved to the passenger side with his gun still pointed at them. At that moment, Moore, sitting in the front passenger seat, pulled out a .25 caliber handgun and shot Dominguez. Moore then got out, took back the car keys, gave them to Dowdle, grabbed Dominguez's gun, and shot the officer 3 times in the head. After his arrest, Moore gave a full, detailed confession. His partners in crime, arrested shortly afterwards, faced prison. Peter Dowdle is serving 25 years and Paul Cameron received a life sentence. Moore's last meal was Kraft cheese and macaroni, beef-flavored rice-a-tony. In his last words, Jonathan Moore repeatedly apologized to the officer's widow. "It was done out of fear, stupidity, and immaturity. I'm sorry. I did not know the man but for a few seconds before I shot him. It wasn't until I got locked up and saw that newspaper, I saw his face and his smile, and I knew he was a good man. I am sorry for all your family, and for my disrespect. He deserved better." Moore wished her happiness, and he then counseled a friend who was a witness to quit using heroin and methadone. He told his father that he loved him. Christopher J. Swift, January 30, 2007. Police received a call from the Days Inn reporting that a 5-year-old boy had been abandoned at the motel. Upon arrival, the child was identified as Zachary Swift, who explained that his father had left him there the night before after killing Zachary's mother and grandmother. Authorities went to Swift's home and discovered the body of his pregnant wife, Amy Amel Sabeh Swift, lying on the floor of the trailer. The body of Sandy Sabeh was found in the kitchen of the Lake Dallas home. Investigators traced Swift's electronic debit card used to a motel in Dallas, where he was found hiding. During a 5-hour interrogation following his arrest, Swift confessed to choking both women before driving his son Zachary to the motel room. His marriage had been troubled from the start. Just 4 days after their wedding, Swift began a 4-year prison sentence for previous convictions, assaulting a Texas state trooper in 1996 and assaulting a woman in Denton County in 1997. Swift later waived all of his appeals. His last meal was a medium well-done steak with sauce, a salad with ranch dressing, cheddar cheese and bacon bits, a baked potato with sour cream, 2 slices of apple pie, 3 large rolls, 2 Cokes, and a cup of coffee. He declined to offer any last words. James Lewis Jackson, February 7, 2007. In 1995, Jackson married Sharon Jackson and became the stepfather to her 2 teenage daughters, Sonsercia, also called Sonny, and Erica. On April 9, 1997, concern grew when Sharon failed to pick up a coworker for work. The coworker contacted Sharon's sister, who, along with their mother, went to the Jacksons' apartment. Upon entering, they found the bodies of Sonny and Erica in one bedroom and Sharon's body in another. All 3 had been choked to death. Jackson had left a note admitting to the murders and later confessed to police. In his confession, he explained that he was upset because Sharon planned to divorce him. He asked each of his stepdaughters how they felt about the impending split. When one girl said she didn't care, Jackson strangled her with his arm. He asked the same question to the other daughter when she returned home. Despite her saying she loved him and wanted him to stay, he also choked her to death. Jackson then placed both girls in their beds. When Sharon returned and rejected his attempts to reconcile, he strangled her as well. Jackson had a prior record, having served 5 years of a 10-year sentence for injury to an elderly person, and was paroled in March 1994. His last meal was 4 pieces of fried dark chicken meat, fried okra, French fries, a salad with blue cheese, 4 hard-boiled eggs with cheese, 2 regular Cokes, 1 pint of butter pecan ice cream, and 2 honey buns. In his last words, Jackson thanked his family and expressed love for them. This is not the end, but the beginning of a new chapter for you and I together forever. See you all later. See you all on the other side. Jackson then told the warden standing over him, "Warden, murder me." He then referred to Harris County, where he was convicted, as Sodom and Gomorrah, the biblical cities destroyed by God for their sins. I'm ready to roll. Time to get this party started. Please hit that subscribe button if you like my channel. See you next time. Bye bye.